Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce to you my dear friend, Pete Zupan. He graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder, and he had an internship with Americans United for Separation of Church and State. He is our student program specialist, and he does a lot of incredible work and is a wonderful person, and he loves his dog very, very much. So he is going to talk to you about awesome alumni stuff. Please give him a round of applause.
Yay! Cool. So, of the two people who look like they are probably still students, are you guys still students, or are you going to become alumni soon?
I'm still a student. I'll be, I'll be an alumni eventually.
Yeah. No. Trust me. Stay in school forever. So, this was supposed to be a joke, but most of you probably already saw it because computers are dumb. But basically, we do have a lot of stuff for alumni, and it's not very well publicized just because we've always focused more on like the students who are actually in campus. But we're in the process of really revamping our alumni program and helping to make it better for you guys. However, as it is right now, there's still a lot of ways that you can be involved and start doing awesome work. So, what is an alumni? SSA defines it as anyone who is a member of a SSA college affiliate or who has now graduated. Or maybe you didn't graduate, because some people just get a GAD, some people leave college because they got a job opportunity or just found out that it wasn't for them. That's okay. We still love you. Maybe you weren't in an affiliate at all. This thing is, after all, in the individual student track. Some people just are not around an affiliate group and, had to do their own thing. So that's okay. We still love you. Or maybe you just found out a little too late after the whole school being in school thing. That is also okay, as long as you are a student who loves secular engagement. We will learn to love you if you're an alumni. So what good are you? Why does the Secular Student Alliance care about you after you take the student out of who you are? It's because there's still so much awesome stuff that you can do that we really want you to participate in. So for one thing, you can help out if you were in a group with your current alumni. Help them with stuff like leadership transitions. I'll go into that in a second. You can be a local ambassador to your local community. That is a huge area where we need the secular voice to start being heard. And you can stay in the larger movement. Of these 3 alumni, only one of them is in a job that actually involves secularism, like de facto. The other 2 have used their secular values to pursue their dream and are applying that knowledge from being in an SSA affiliate to how they got the job, what they wanted to do, and are really doing a lot of awesome stuff to help change the world. So with your own SSA affiliation, you can still participate in your group. Help them with leadership transitions. This doesn't mean taking over the group, it just means letting them know that they have to start getting on these things early. So also chip in a little. We know that right after you graduate, money's a little tight. But the cost of a pizza for your group's first meeting of the year is also the same as the cost of pizza for yourself, but without the forever alone calories. Stay involved in their mailing lists. Find out what they're doing, participate in their Facebook group, maybe help jog some conversations along, especially when they're having things like fundraisers or events where they really need a lot of participation. Advertise that to your own off-campus networks to help get that crowd in and help them out a lot. And let them go, let it go. You need to move on. You're an alumni now. You're not a student, so don't hold on to the group. It's going to evolve, it's going to change, it might move in a completely direction, and yes, it might even die, but we find a lot of groups, even if they disappear off the map for a while, like the Phoenix, come roaring back. And we are very, very used to that, and we're in a good place to help them get back on that track. But do your own stuff too. Let us know what you're doing in the Alumni Spotlight, which we have a form on our website so that you can do interviews. Let us know what you're doing with your life. And, maybe become an alumni member. It's not all that much. It's $15 for an introductory membership, and this helps not only keep you involved in the SSA as an alumni member, but also helps us get resources to students. So it's a big help for us. So how can you help out on the community level? Turns out that a lot of national organizations have chapters everywhere, as well as a number of independent places. So find it. Places like FFRF, they have a lot of local chapters. I was very familiar with the one in Colorado, and they do a lot of awesome stuff. They have meetings. The local independent groups are usually more social. They have bar stuff. We also find that in general, the secular movement has a reputation as being only a place for old white men, and there's a reason for this. It's because groups are usually only white men. So join these groups, provide the student perspective, and maybe help make it not always be old white men. And then do stuff. A lot of these national organizations, if you apply to them online, have things called action alerts. These are things that let you know what's happening on a local level that you can actually be involved in. FFRF has some, as well as my previous internship at Americans United. You can join our Regional Speakers Bureau. This helps you give talks at local groups around you. Some student groups can't afford big national speakers who sometimes require an honorarium, hotels, flights. So if you can give them someone who can come into their campus for cheap as free, give a good talk, that really helps students out. You can also join the Secular Safe Zone, which is like my baby. You can become either an ally, or you can try to find a facilitator, or even become a facilitator if you're someone who has a permanent role at your institution. And don't be quiet, speak out. You know the number of times that something like this comes up on my Google alerts? If you said too many, then you're right. A lot of people still go in for op-eds just pretty much saying like God and government, and they're not challenged very often. So speak out. Let people know that the secular worldview exists. Like Kai Butchert, who just replied recently to the Great Falls Tribune about Americans United stopping a field trip to a creationist museum. Stuff like this lets people know that this is not just a Christian nation, it is a place for all faiths and people of non-faith as well. And you can also help out in the larger movement. Get a job. Everyone loves It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We know that it's not always possible to get a job in the secular movement. There are only so many secular jobs and so many open positions in those places. However, you can still use your experience as a SSA alum with all of your SSA affiliate stuff to find a job that applies to your secular values. And you can also, within the scope of your job, let people know that you are a secular person and help normalize the secular worldview to the general public. You can also volunteer in lieu of a job. Lots of national organizations as well as the local independent places could use volunteers all the time. This isn't just stuff like going to meetings, it's people who have graphic design experience. Offer up your experience so that they can make cool macro images, video editing, and especially when they have like big conferences, they can always use stuff. A lot of you probably got here with rides from volunteers from the airport to your hotel, from your hotel to here, and they really need help with that stuff. So volunteer. We will always put on our /jobs. It's secularstudents.org/jobs. Super simple. We'll put volunteer opportunities on there for you to be able to find. And attend conferences. Again, usually these things are only populated by old white guys. So go there, provide the student perspective, and start to show that this is a growing movement and that the secular students need to be taken seriously and their voices need to be heard at these places. And probably even speak at some conferences. A lot of national orgs and even the independent places can have little local conferences as well as national conferences that they bring to your area. And they sometimes have open spots, and maybe you won't get a huge crowd, but you can start to get the perspective of the secular student out there. and be openly secular. This isn't just about the campaign making videos, even though you totally should. Dave Chervis and Stephanie are still going to be here for a little bit to do that. But also just be open. Let people know that you are a secular person. And that doesn't mean converting them or trying to deconvert them. It just means say, hey, you guys are a bunch of Christians. I'm an atheist. I'm a real good, normal person too. And table at all the things. This isn't just to help your local circles, but to help let strangers know that the secular worldview exists. There's a lot of towns that, especially during summer, have little local events. In Boulder, we always had a thing called Creek Fest, and we were always conveniently placed between two tarot card readers. So that was always fun, and you'd be surprised at how often the conversations are actually really good, and people who said, I had no idea that you were here. We only had one backlash person, and it's just someone who kept running by saying, Jesus lives. And I know, you guys are satiating for more. The Secular Student Alliance is always trying to develop new tools, new resources for alumni. Some things that are coming up are we're going to try to have local alumni chapters. These are ways that you can participate with people who were in your general age group but off campus. We're also going to have something called the Alumni Council. Ooh, sounds like the atheist agenda coming back up. What is it? Just find out later. And we're going to have a lot of cool graduation materials as well as other alumni physical things, swag that you can wear and show off and put on your car, and that's all going to be cool. But you have to find out about them by becoming an SSA alumni member, which you can do at secularstudents.org/alumni. We also have an alumni Facebook group so that you can start to network with people across the country who are also alumni. Find out what they're doing, ask them about strategies for things that you might be doing on the local level. It's a real cool group. It's closed so that if you can't necessarily be open to your work environment at this time, they won't be able to find you or see these posts. So that might help you. So go forth, be awesome alumni, do awesome things, and let us know about it, not only with the Alumni Spotlight, but on /BragItUp. That is the only way that we know about what students are doing. Send us pictures, tell us events, tell us what people are saying to you, tell us if you had any bad experiences, tell us about the good ones. We want to know. And don't forget to become an alumni member with the Secular Student Alliance. Thank you, and questions.